This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Use the link in the description below for 10% off of your first website or domain. So let's talk about 5 things you should always do before every single wedding. What's up? This is John from John Much for Photography, and we are now at the beginning of peak wedding season. If you're a wedding photographer like myself, or you're new to wedding photography, I want to share as much of my 7 years of wedding photography knowledge that I have with you to get you on the right foot in your first ever wedding season. So on that note, make sure to check out this playlist up above that will teach you all about wedding photography, as well as some of my behind the scene wedding photography videos. Also, don't forget to subscribe to catch more videos on wedding photography, and let's go ahead and jump into these 5 things you should always do before every wedding. Starting out with one of the most obvious, but sometimes forgotten, charge all of your gear. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen photographers who have forgot to charge all their batteries, end up at a long 10-hour wedding day and not have the juice that they need. You should not be at your wedding day having to charge your gear, so make sure you do it the night before. For me, this includes charging my battery grip, additional batteries, flashes, and the cameras themselves. Also, if I'm doing video, this includes making sure all my microphones are charged up and have batteries, as well as my drone. Seriously, again, you do not want to be at a wedding day and be half juiced and have to charge. While there are many ways that you can do that at a wedding day, you need to always come 100% prepared. So make sure you charge your stuff fully the night before. Next up is to format your SD cards. I format my SD cards before every single wedding. And this is 4 whole cards, so 2 for each camera. Generally, I keep the exact same SD cards in each camera, so 2 128 gig cards in each camera so I can shoot and backup. And the reason I format them is so that they're all clear and ready to go, and I know how many photos I'm getting in total. On my Fuji X-T3s, I usually shoot in compressed RAW. This gives me around 4,000 or 5,000 photos. And also, if you're gonna bring extra SD cards with you, make sure you format those as well. If for some reason something happens to your SD cards and you need to swap really quickly, you don't want to be shooting on a half full SD card and then have to figure out how you can save yourself space later. So format your main SD cards, that will be the 4 to fill both your double slots in both your cameras if you shoot like I do, and also format your extra backup cards so that they're ready to go and you don't have to worry about anything at all except for taking great photos. After that, we want to make sure that we load up our bag the night before. You should never ever be packing your bag the day of the wedding. That is the best way to forget something, so usually do it the night before and then double check your work the day of the wedding. I actually have a video up above that you can check out that shows how I prep my cameras for a wedding day, and I also have a video that talks about what I usually take with me in my bag. Make sure to check those out. But generally, again, this is packing my cameras, packing my additional batteries, packing my flashes and my flash modifiers, and all the lenses that I will be using. For some extras as well, I usually bring some additional SD cards as well as a little wipe for my lenses, because sometimes I touch the front of the lens somehow by accident and I need to wipe off my own fingerprints. Some other stuff I pack as well include flat lay mats, which I'll use sometimes for my flat lay photos. And if it's a really bad day where I know the lighting's gonna be horrible, I usually bring a softbox and a light stand with me as well. Also, you already know about my Lume Cube. That's always in my bag as well. And yeah, maybe I'll go ahead and do another what's in my bag video for 2021. If you wanna see that, let me know in the comments below. Now that we've gotten through all the gear stuff, let's talk about the last 2 things that I think you should always do before a wedding that's not so focused on the gear. And the first one is to make sure you eat a heavy breakfast before your wedding. Now, if you've ever shot a wedding before, or if you're not familiar, basically on a wedding day, you're not eating and barely drinking from the start of the wedding day all the way up to the reception until everyone starts eating. That's at least a 6-hour fast from breakfast. So if you're not used to fasting, you definitely need to make sure you eat heavy in the morning. If I can, I usually eat something that's heavy in protein, and also I'll eat a little bit more than feels comfortable for me. Because yet again, I know I'm basically not eating for the whole day. And I know some wedding photographers will pack little snack bars with them and stuff, which is great, but I've found that I don't have the space to carry it because I like to travel light, and also I just don't have the time to eat one. I don't want to be somewhere where there's guests hanging around trying to open a little bar real quick and I don't want to do that, because what will happen is I'll be in the middle of trying to fit that in real quick, and someone always has to come and ask me a question, and here I am, mouthful like, hey John, can you? So again, just go ahead and eat heavy. Eat heavy so that you can last up until the reception when you get a break and you get your vendor meal. And last but not least, get to your wedding early. I know everyone has a big issue with this, because a lot of photographers are like, well, I'm getting paid for 8 hours, so I'm gonna show up for 8 hours. Y'all, it's your business. Put your best foot forward at all times. You should not care about the hourly rate that hard. You will be making your money and you'll be making a better name for yourself. Now, obviously, don't just give away hours for free to couples and let them run you and your own time. But on a wedding day, from my experience of 7 years of doing weddings, I'm waking up and going to the wedding anyway. You know what I'm saying? So saving myself 1 extra hour in the morning to sit around and do nothing is not helping me. It doesn't really give me much to do, because that whole hour, I'm sitting around thinking about the wedding anyway. So for me, I like to show up an hour early. This gives me a chance to start on details early. This gives me a chance to look around the venue. This gives me a chance to show up and speak to the bride, speak to the groom, meet the family earlier in the day to see how everyone's mood is and how everyone's feeling. This is especially important on a day when it's like rainy and the weather's not great. Just, there's so much more you gain from showing up early than not, and being all like, well, I'm not getting paid, so I'm not showing up. So really, show up early to your wedding days. 30, 45 minutes, an hour early. Really, just do it. Yes, the day will be long, but it will be worth it. Your clients will love you for it, and you will get much more word of mouth for putting your best foot forward at all times. And let's not forget the number one most important thing to do before any wedding, which is setting up a website with this video sponsor, Squarespace. If you don't have a website yet and you're looking for a way to build one quickly and easily, Squarespace is the way to do it. Squarespace is an online platform that will walk you through building your own website with templates, analytics, and so much more to help the process so you can get back to taking photos and running your business. I've been using Squarespace for my own website since I started photography, and honestly, I don't think I can use anything else because I just love the way the system works. And on top of all the features I talked about before, they also have amazing customer service. So if you have a hard time or have a problem while you're building your website, you can just hop on their live chat and chat it up with them and get that all taken care of. Make sure to check out the link in the description below and get 10% off of your first website. Set your website up, show off your photos, and get more wedding photography work. So those are the 5 things I feel like you should always absolutely do before every single wedding. If there are any other things that you feel like you always do before a wedding, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear other people's thoughts, and also let's all just share and help each other out as wedding photographers. Again, the better wedding photographers are, it only helps the whole industry. So let's get over competition and just learn together and grow together. And again, if you're new to wedding photography and you're looking for a great place for wedding photography education, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video so I can keep on making more for you all. Thanks again for hanging out on the channel. I hope you enjoyed this information, and I will catch you all next time. All right, peace.